right. Okay, so once again, I would like to say thank you so much for being here, and I would love to welcome everyone. Thank you for showing up for yourself today. So let me just start by sharing my screen here. And this is actually a safe space where we created with care, honesty, and of course, support. And I would like to let everyone know that you are not behind. You're actually beginning a new chapter. And for today, I do have Mr. Ricky here. Okay. And he's a dedicated leader whose journey is the perfect blend of grit, grace, and growth. And he's a proud nurse since 2012, and Ricky has always worn that many hats. And I will let him explain and share his successful and transformational journey, okay, as a registered nurse and transitioning into becoming an entrepreneur. And for myself, I'm a former registered nurse with master's degree in nursing. I had 15 years of experience in medical field, and currently I'm a financial advisor, okay, a life license advisor with 10 years of experience or 10 years here in the financial industry. And I'm the founder of Nurse Mastery, where our main mission is to empower every nurse to believe again in their dreams, especially for your future and, of course, your God given worth. Okay? So, I'd like to start first by sharing these stats and numbers with you. Okay? Because, as you know, burnout is not a personal flaw, it is actually a systemic emergency. And burnout is not a weakness, it is actually a red flag. And as you can see, this is based from the facts and stats that nearly one in every two Canadian nurses and 71% of US nurses report severe burnout from unsafe ratio and more than 12-hour shifts. Again, this is based from CNA and NCSBN. And of course, over 100,000. Imagine how many nurses, especially in US, have already left. Not because they're weak, but because their needs were ignored. Okay. And again, that has been reported based from the National Council of State Boards of Nursing. Now, I want to ask Mr. Ricky here. Mr. Ricky, can you share a story of hitting a wall but finding a way out through intentional changes? So, what made you decide and have the exit plan, not just working as a nurse, but going beyond bedside?
Yes, thank you, Miss Marjorie, for that. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone, wherever you're
Mhm.
listening from. Anyway, I'm Ricky, based here in Las Vegas, Nevada. A nurse, back in 2011 from the Philippines, and even back home back in 2011, I work hard already. And I work not only one, but two jobs back home. I work an 8-hour shift and I work an extra as a private duty nursing. And life back home is difficult because my 1 year salary there is only 1 month salary here in the US. So there was one incident that actually switched my mindset. Okay, let me
Mhm.
tell you a story. My shift in the Philippines is 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. and sometimes it changes. But there's one particular day that I work from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. and I work my private duty nursing at the same hospital, hired by one of the patients there, one of the family. I work 2 p.m. to 2 to 10 p.m. As a private duty nursing. Okay, that's 16 hours. And unfortunately, my relieving nurse, the upcoming nurse, due to some personal issues, he couldn't come on time. So I was not able to leave right away at the hospital because I couldn't leave my patient alone. And mode of transportation back in the Philippines is only through jeepney, or the
Mhm.
counterpart in the US or Canada is bus, right? And what happened was I got the rush to go to the terminal from my hospital to the terminal, and what happened is there's no more jeepney available. You know what
Wow.
I did, Miss Marjorie? I slept at the terminal from 11 p.m. until 6 in the morning. I got home during the daytime, and I was scared for myself. I don't know what's gonna happen to me. Might be somebody who's gonna stab me or
Hmm.
snatch my phone or my wallet. But that was the turning point. Where we are is based from our decisions.
That's true.
Since from 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I became a nurse because I decided to. I
Wow.
am in the US now because I decided to. Because
Mhm.
if you're born poor, it's not your mistake. But if you
True.
die poor, it's definitely your mistake. And that was
I
the turning point for me. Um, I was like, I'm not gonna be stuck to where am I at. We can grow more than we can imagine. You are your own limit. That's why our biggest fear is ourselves. So that's it for
wow.
me, Miss Marjorie.
That's really a big word there, and very I would say that a lot of our nurses here would relate to your story, because I know for sure, even yes, nurses are earning a lot, but of course, without the right strategy and financial structure, a lot of times we end up having two jobs, three jobs, and at the same time we still end up having nothing, right? And just like you, I was also once working endless shift, like barely seeing my family. Imagine I missed birthdays and family memories. I would smile through shifts, but then I would cry inside my car because I felt so tired and very overwhelmed. And I didn't realize that I was already, I felt that burnout. Okay. So, with that, I want to share this again, and I'll go back with my slides. And thank you so much for sharing that, Mr. Ricky. With this, I want you to ponder on this question, because what if burnout is not the end of your career, but rather the beginning of a more profitable, purpose driven path? Because nurses like us, just like what Mr. Ricky said, okay, we are not limited to the bedside. We're actually being called beyond it. And let me ask you this question: are you ready to serve, or to teach, or to build? In that case, the good news is that it has to be in your own term without even abandoning your calling. Okay, because the good news is that we all can certainly do that and have that. Okay, because at the time, that's also when I realized that nursing alone was not even enough to build the life I wanted. And I made that shift. I became financially literate, just like with Mr. Ricky. I have explored new income path and built a career that is aligned to my values. So same thing with Ricky, and you will hear more of his transformational story today. Okay. But for the meantime, what I would like is to share these three profitable paths beyond the bedside. Okay. Because for all of us here as nurses, there are certain paths that you can take that is way beyond the bedside. You can either do your advisor's path, your entrepreneur path, or choose the educator path. So, advisor's path here, you can help others protect wealth and health, just like what me and Ricky are actually currently doing. So, I always believe that as a nurse, yes, we do help people to become mentally, physically, emotionally healthy. But in the advisor's path, it's the same thing, but this time we're helping people to become financially healthy. And the good thing is that the potential income for doing this, even part time, could give you an estimate amount of 24,000 to 96,000 a year. Or if you do it full time, it could be 120,000 or more. And we've seen people here earning even seven figures to eight figures, right? But let me just make it clear, I do not guarantee this amount, because it still depends on certain factors. Okay. Another thing is, if you choose the entrepreneurial path, this is where you turn your passion into business. For example, if you like creating designs, or you like leadership, you can actually use that passion and turn that into business. This could be one of the ways in order for you to have your exit plan, especially if you are in that situation where you already feel that kind of burnout. Okay. The potential income here, the startup amount is usually around 6,000 to 60,000 per year. And for full-time, it's 120K and up. The good news is this, with this kind of path, it is scalable, okay? Or you can choose to have the educator path, where in here, you can monetize your knowledge via courses or consulting. And the potential income here, usually at an early stage, is around 12,000 to 36,000 a year. Or if you scale and become licensed, then it's usually around 60,000 to 180,000 per year. Now, a lot of times you will hear this from most nurses that they're quite scared because, but March, I don't really have that other background aside from nursing. March, I already have invested my time and my expertise here, okay? But I would like everyone to know about this bridge metaphor, okay? You are not leaping. What you're actually doing is walking strategically. Most believe that a career change means jumping into unknown or risking everything. So that's why they are kind of scared to try something new. And later on, you will hear that from Mr. Ricky. Okay, imagine from medical field to finance. It's a two different industry. Okay, a lot of times nurses would feel or would think abandoning their own identity and starting from scratch. But if you look at the bridge, it's really about starting or having a steady and become very strategic. It actually connects you from where you are now to where you want to go without losing yourself along the way. I'll go back with that advisor path. You already advocate for your patient care. So if you do another type of business on the side, it's the same thing. Now you guide families to protect their health and their wealth. So the bridge here is built on trust, which you already have, the service, which you already do, and the transferable skills. And for those who choose entrepreneur path, for example, you love skincare, you like designing, or you love wellness and leadership. You're not leaping into business. You are building a business from what already lights you up. I always remember this, okay? It's not really, a lot of times nurses would think that, oh, it's not for me, without even realizing that you're already doing what a business owner or an entrepreneur is already doing. And that kind of passion becomes now your first step on your bridge, okay? And for the educator path, you already trained, for example, you're training new nurses or student nurses. You already have taught patients in terms of health teachings. You shared your wisdom. Now, if you package that into a course or consulting offer, that's not a leap. It's simply walking across, going back again to the bridge you've already started building. Okay? So, what I'm trying to say here is this, that even if you start slow and earn extra 24,000 a year, just like your side business, that's actually another 2,000 per month. And that extra 2,000, that's your overtime hours replaced, that's your debt payoff or a vacation fund, and that's your first taste of freedom. And you will learn and hear more about how these things work, especially with Mr. Ricky. Okay, and so therefore, you don't really need 40 hours to build a new life. What you really need is a clear path and the belief that you are worth more. So the question here is, but how do we design your personalized exit plan? So right now, what I'm going to share is this framework, okay, where you can use, especially if you're looking for more or if you are searching and exploring how you can go beyond bedside, okay? So the exit method. So this one offers a clear or a clarity path, okay? So exit, which stands for E, evaluate the gaps. X is explore aligned path. I is for your identify what are your whys and your hours. And T is to take small steps with, of course, mentorship. And from there, now you can visualize the peace, the profit, and of course, the protection. Okay? Now, let me start with letter E. Evaluate the gaps. This is where you can check your time and where your money are leaking. Because before you can build an exit plan, you need to know what's draining your energy and your income. Because you cannot fix what you don't measure. And this step is all about taking inventory. of where your time is being consumed with little return, especially when it comes to emotion and financial, and where your money is slipping away without intention or return. And I want you to ask this question: am I working extra shift just to keep up with the lifestyle or just to pay bills? Okay. Or do I feel like I'm always busy but not really moving forward? The next question there is: are there any expenses or habits that don't reflect your future goals? Okay. Because an example here is Maria. She's an overworked travel nurse, and Maria is a Canadian travel nurse working 60 plus hours per week. Now, the time link here is that she spends 10 to 12 hours weekly on overtime shifts just to cover those taxes, which she didn't plan for. Plus, she's too exhausted to start her dream of owning an aesthetic clinic. And for the money leak, imagine she's paying high taxes as a sole proprietor and has no insurance to protect her income. And because of that, in the end, see, she even spends on comfort shopping to treat herself after burnout weeks. And nothing wrong with that. But for the most part, that's very, very common among us because every time we feel like, oh, I got tired, I was so busy, then I deserve more this time. Okay. But then if you look at that, when Maria evaluated her gaps, she saw where the money and her time is leaking. She realized that she could recover that 5 to 10 hours a week by just restructuring her finances and saying no to non-essential overtime. And of course, as you can see, once she realized she was losing over 8,000 per year in unnecessary tax. That 8,000, you can actually use that for something else. And the emotionally, she was staying in a loop of overwork, leading to burnout. Then what happens next? Oh, escape spending. Oh, I'll have to treat myself, right? And then after that, you feel guilt. There's that kind of guilt. But then in the end, it's a repeat cycle. And now her breakthrough is this. Once she saw that leaks clearly, that's when she stopped blaming herself and started building smarter. Okay. Next on the list is that X. Explore path that aligns with your heart and your skill. Now, this step is about getting curious, not just about what you can do, but it's all about what actually feels right for who you are. Okay, and I want you to know, especially with Mr. Ricky and everyone listening here, you're not just a nurse. We can always match our gifts, our talent with a purpose driven income path that won't burn us out. Okay, and today you will learn that from Mr. Ricky. Okay, and an example here is Janelle. She's actually a nurse who always trained new grads. Okay, now with that, so she loves breaking down complex information for patient, but she felt drained by bedside care. But it lit up. She actually gets lit up whenever she's actually teaching. So with that, she explored and started doing nurse educator online. Or for most nurses here, what you can also do because you already have that knowledge and expertise, you can do health coaching for, let's say, busy moms or creating a mini course. And with that, she actually have extra income of at least six figure and it is scalable. So meaning exploring doesn't mean committing forever. It only means giving yourself that permission to imagine new ways to serve that feel like you. Okay. And the next is hold on for a second here. And they identify your why and your hours. Your why is your fuel and your time is your tool. And if you align both, imagine extra 2 hours, extra 5 hours. If you combine it together, it becomes very powerful. And I want you to ask this question: why do I want more freedom? And it's only you who can answer that. It could either be because you want quality time for your family, you want to travel just like Mr. Ricky, or retire early. Second question is, what is at stake if nothing changes in the next 6 to 12 months? And how many hours per week can you commit in building your exit plan, because that is something that you have to prepare. That is something that you have to think of and commit to it. Okay. Now, last is the take the small steps with mentorship, choosing courage over perfection and mentorship over confusion. Because an example here is Nurse Ali. He's actually a perfectionist and he wanted to start an income stream helping other nurses manage stress. But he kept stuck in this question. Okay. A lot of times we always think of other things before even getting started. In his case, oh, do I have or do I need to have a website first? What if I mess up? Am I ready? Remember the word analysis paralysis, okay? Every time you think of other things, it paralyzes you. So what is important is that you just have to do it, okay? Just do it. And in his case, once he get that kind of mentorship, for example, through nurse coaching program, that is when he actually gained the roadmap, the accountability, and the confidence with increased profit. And so, as a recap, okay, so let's have a recap. So, the exit means evaluate gaps, explore aligned paths, identify your why and your hours, and take that small step with mentorship. So, now I'll take this opportunity because I want everyone here to actually listen and learn and hear from Nurse Ricky, who turned into full-time advisor, how he was able to have that kind of transformational because of an exit plan. And that's where he found his purpose and had um, exit plan and took courage that changed his life and his family life for the better. Okay, so I will pass the floor to you, Mr. Ricky. Go ahead, please.
All right. Thank you, Miss Marjorie. I agree with you 100%. I was like that before, but now I'm different, right?
Mhm.
Cause why? Cause we wanna grow. We don't wanna be stuck, right? Okay. Let me share my screen and good morning, good afternoon, good evening again. I'm back. Let me share my screen here. Okay.
Right.
You see it?
Yes.
All right. So here, background wise, I'm here to talk about nurse exit plan. Whether you love nursing so much, you're gonna stay and retire as a nurse, or whether you're like me who wants to achieve more, who keeps telling myself I can do more, I can do better than this, right? I'm not
Mhm.
saying nursing is bad. I'm just saying there's more ways, other solutions, because a lot of times, especially as healthcare workers, we sometimes get sick and tired, right? Okay. So anyway, my story, just like what I shared earlier, I'm a nurse by profession, and in this picture is me on the left one, middle one is my sister who's a pharmacist. The one on the right is my brother who's a civil engineer. And why did I brought this picture is because they're my pride and joy. I'm the one who actually helped them finish college, and now here they are in the U.S. with me. Background wise, a nurse by profession, eldest in the family, so I gotta be the good example to my siblings. I work hard all my life, but seems like working hard is not gonna be enough. So thanks to my father who helped me migrate to US in 2014. And coming to US or either Canada, thinking it's a land of opportunity, you know what I found out? It's a land of responsibility as well. Because if you don't work, then you're not gonna survive. So my journey started, of course, coming into a foreign country. I gotta start from the ground up. I started working as a caregiver. A year later, I passed my English exam. I passed my NCLEX, and I just followed what majority is telling me, including my parents. You gotta work. You gotta be in a career, stable career, and you gotta work hard. Not only I work hard, I work harder. And working hard is not enough. And this is me with my three jobs. Yes, not one, not two, but three jobs. I work full time as a nurse, 3 days, and 12 hours you clock out for your break. Yes, you don't get paid for your break. Unfortunately, uh, so 3 days and I have 4 days off. So what do? I gotta find another place to work. Why? I work hard not because I want to, I work hard because I need to. So being the eldest, my father's a construction worker in Guam, so I gotta work hard. Then actually I have to take a note on my schedule. I need to do a color coding because I work 5 to 6 days a week, and sometimes I get confused which place do I go to, which hospital, right? And I remember one incident or one scenario that first time going home in the Philippines, of course I gotta save a lot of money, right? I work 52 days, Miss Marjorie, no day off. And I see people who only works 3 days a week and they feel tired.
Wow,
Uh,
it's great,
Maybe
52 days.
yes, and the reason to that is because of my whys. You need to have a goal, hit the goal, and you gotta do whatever it takes. And that was my goal before, and work becomes a way of life. For you to make more, you have to work more. Why? Because you trade time for money, right? It's traditional to being an employee. The more you work, the more you get paid. What if there's a solution that you will have money and time at the same time? So that's when I actually embrace this opportunity, and this is what Miss Marjorie is sharing to everybody, whether you're in Canada or whether you're in the US, we can help you out. Because your job is not I'd rather not say it, but it's not um, your limitation, right? It's not your prison. I hope I didn't offend anybody with that, but I call it prison. Why? Because I cannot afford not to work. Because my monthly basis evolves from my paycheck. I see my paycheck, and the next day it goes to the bills. And um, COVID pandemic, it's very memorable to everybody. Why? Everybody's on lockdown. Everybody's at home. While we as frontliners were the first one to actually experience what COVID looks like. And I wear this gown from each patient to another, but imagine wearing that mask for 12 hours. Of course, you gotta take it out for your lunch break, but imagine it's like putting a pillow in your face. That's the feeling, because it's not only a regular mask, it's an N95 mask. And I asked myself that I'm a nurse for the from 2015 to 2018, 2019. I examine myself on the past 4 years. Am I at where I want to be? And I ask myself another question. What if I do the same thing on the next 4 years? Will something change? So if the answer to your question is no, then what are you doing? Because we cannot expect different result if we keep doing the same thing over and over again, right? That's the rat race I do at work. Um, what I love when I'm working, whatever job I do, whether I'm a nurse or whether you're an entrepreneur like me and Miss Marjorie, is you gotta know the reason why are you doing this. Why do you even work hard? Why me as a nurse? Why do I wake up 5 in the morning just to get to work at 7? Why do I want to pick up all those overtime? Why I'm fighting so hard to work during the Christmas, during the New Year, is because you get paid time and a half, or maybe Canada double pay. Why do you work on a weekend even though your kids are at home? Right? So these are my whys. My sister who's a pharmacist, brother who's an engineer, and I'm proud that I'm part of the reason why they finished college. And my dad who's a construction worker in Guam making minimum wage. And I could not slow down. And before, all I know is just to work hard. And we have to learn how to make money while we're asleep. It's not bad to make multiple sources of income. Because if your income is only from one source, and especially traditionally is main breadwinner, the other spouse takes care of the kids, you're just one sickness, one illness away from poverty. Remember that, okay? So that's why it's always good to have multiple sources. Maybe your side hustle, maybe your side gig, or whatever that is. Always embrace all opportunities. And that's from me. Maybe you have a different mindset, different standpoint, but and what I love about transitioning, and I mentioned earlier, you work, you get paid. You work more, you get paid more. You work less, you paycheck is only a blink away and it's gone. And here I transition here. Imagine I've been in this opportunity in this new venture, which is financial, for 7 years now, from 2018 until 2025. And as you all know, we have a lockdown for 2 years, right? 5 years total. I've been to 14 countries already. I've been to Israel, get to experience and swim in the Dead Sea. We get to experience dinner in the where the Last Supper was held in Hinnom Valley. I get to see how tall camel is when they stand up. Imagine they're sitting down. They're not even 3 feet tall, but when they stood up, it's like 10 feet tall, 8 feet tall. And I don't know who's fan of watching K drama Crash Landing on You. I get to experience and see Crash Landing on You. I even did paragliding. Before I only see Spain in the movies, but I get to see what Spain looks like and get to see the famous 𝐬𝐓𝐇 waterfall in Switzerland. I get to see and experience and went in uh, one of the biggest castle in Portugal. And next one is I get to travel to Thailand, and I'm surprised. I thought only us humans know how to do a selfie, how to strike a pose. And imagine an elephant, look at the feet at the bottom. He's actually striking a pose. And we gotta merge with the culture, dress with how people in Thailand dress. And this is in Singapore. I get to experience the view in the morning at the biggest infinity pool in the world. Uh, and that's experience of a lifetime. And I get to see Dubai. I get to see the Egypt, the pyramids. I get to see the where the first civilization occurred. I was scared here, but there's no mommy here. Okay. Anyway, and last year is Istanbul and Cappadocia in Turkey, and a lot of things happening right now. I don't know if you have seen the news about in Brazil where um, hot air balloon, something happened. And people wants to go to Israel to go to Jerusalem, but now there's a war going on. We don't know what will happen to the world. We don't know what's gonna happen to us tomorrow. And are you gonna work hard for the next 30 years and maybe, hopefully, maybe you travel later when you retire? Or you gonna travel and work at the same time right now? Because time is precious. Time is the most expensive thing in the world because you can always make money, but you will never have more time. So, choice is yours, okay? And these are the reason my siblings are finished with their college, and now I have another sponsor, which is my cousin. So he's fourth year college now, nursing. Hopefully he will finish soon, so he can come here in the US and have that opportunity of a lifetime as well. And this is my grandpa, who's actually bedridden now, wheelchair bound, and he do have a caregiver one on one, and they clean him and they keep him dry. They give him a bath every day. And imagine if I only work for my paycheck, I only have one job. How can I survive with all this? Right? So the reason why I want to make more so I can help more. And with that, this is the last one. My school, alma mater, back when I was in elementary, is in the bridge of closing their school. And I was actually one of the graduates there, alumni, and each batch, let's say for example, I'm batch 2003, batch 2004 onwards actually sponsor one student per batch per year. And I'm alone, myself, I sponsored one student. How can I do that? Is for me to make more. I want to make more so I can help more. Okay? And I just want to share to you, before, as a traditional employee, I all I know is working hard. I didn't know that I can work smart. What do I mean by working smart? Working money while you sleep. Or rather, this example, uh, on the left is my paycheck, part-time income, $31,000 for the whole year. Part-time. And I embraced the opportunity, part-time income, same year, instead of 1 year, but 1 month. So it's, imagine working for something, but you get paid 3 times. Of course, it's not the money, it's mission over commission. That's why you can see this. Our mission is financial education for all. But I know I'm in a place where I get paid for my worth. Because before, even though as a nurse, you give your all, you're gonna get paid regardless. And there are some coworkers who's not even exerting their 100%. I know all of you can relate. Sometimes you have a nurse who's always MIA, or a CNA who's even better than you, right? And that was me before. And I asked myself, do I want to keep this, doing this over and over? And of answer is no. And I just decided to change what I do, and my entire life has changed. And this is to wrap up. In closing, happiness is a choice. You choose to be happy, and you will always find something to be happy about. I was in the Philippines. I choose to be a nurse. I work as a nurse. I'm not happy where am I at, because I know it's not even gonna feed me. So I choose to move to US, where it give me more, it pays more. But I decided, because nursing for me, it is good. It helped me bought a car, helped me bought a house. It helped me help my siblings to finish college, but it's not gonna make me wealthy. It's not gonna make me financially independent. So, and the problem with working for a living, that I keep working for a living, that I forget how to live a life. So I choose to be happy, and I choose freedom on top of money. And that's what makes me happy every day. Before, I I have one day off a week, sometimes two. I get lucky if I have three. But a night before I work is kind of gives me anxiety. Oh, I'm gonna wake up with my alarm again. Oh, it's my Monday again. And what happens is, I cannot wait until I have my day off. And that for me, that's not healthy, right? So you need to find something you believe in and you have to put your life to fight for it. And that's from Sandra Cruz. And message to everybody, people only believe in you when you are winning. I remember back in the Philippines when I'm back home, nobody's even paying attention to me, right? But um, that's why you have to believe in yourself when you are losing. Life is tough, but don't get defeated. You are your own limit, and don't stay in your box. Life is too huge. Life is too big. Don't live in the pond. You gotta go into the ocean. Remember, especially this is not only to nurses but to everybody who's stuck, who feels drowning, who feels tired. What you're not changing, you're choosing.
Exactly.
Yep. And remember this, the day you stop dreaming is the day you stop living. So keep
Wow.
dreaming, keep living, and thank you. And back to you, Miss Marjorie.
Wow, I love that. Very, very inspiring story. Especially, I know a lot of nurses can relate, especially with the type of life you had. And I will always say that to everyone watching here right now, I know for sure you felt that story in your bones because there's so many of us juggling 2 to 3 jobs or even more, just like Mr. Ricky, and thinking that burnout is just the price we pay for doing good, right? So, and what I admire about you, Mr. Ricky, is that you just did not hustle. What you did was heal. You got healed because you chose growth. You learned the language of money and you proved that freedom is possible when we stop surviving and start strategizing. And of course, to every nurse here, I want you to really take this in. Your story is not too late and you're not too far behind. You are just one decision away from a pivot moment, just like what Ricky made, just like I made, just like hundreds of people and purpose driven nurses inside the nurse mastery making right now. So, if today gave you that kind of clarity, imagine the 90 days of mentorship, the tools, and the step by step plan that you could do. Okay. And just like what Mr. Ricky said, not just here in Canada, but even in US. And what I really like about what we have made is a movement where we can support and we can empower every nurses all across the world, right? And whether you're curious or you're overwhelmed or ready to finally get paid for your purpose, we'd like to invite you into the next step. Okay. And with that, let me just try to finish this one here. Okay. So with that, just like Mr. Ricky, I was also was stuck in shifts. I was unsure if I was wasting my degree or my destiny. I did not need more motivation. What I needed was a mentor, a map, and a momentum. And just like with Mr. Ricky is also doing, he also mentor people in order for them to become financially literate. And of course, as he said, it's actually available to everyone. And for me, same thing. That's exactly why I also have created this nurse mastery because nurses like us, we deserve a safe space to grow financially, personally, and purposefully. And for those who actually have registered, you must have received this Wealthy Nurse Blueprint. I want you to have that, and that will help you take action right now. And please join our Nurse Mastery Group. It's an empowered network of nurses to stay supported and inspired. All right. And so, whether you're exploring financial protection, building your first income stream, or ready to grow a brand that changes lives, there's always that clear path forward. And for Mr. Ricky and I, we'd love, of course, to meet you one on one to map out your next step. No pressure, just pure clarity. And if you're ready to do that, you can always book a free what do you call this strategy session with us. Okay. And I like to end this with this question here and a caption. But before anything else, I am Marjorie Bautista, and of course, together with Mr. Ricky, we help nurses get protected, profitable, and purpose led. and we can't wait to walk with you on this journey. Okay? And so you are never meant to just survive. With this caption here, whether you are exploring financial protection, as I have mentioned, or building your first income stream and ready to grow a brand that changes lives, there's always that clear path. And I would always say this: you were never meant to just survive, you were born to lead, just like Mr. Ricky, to build and to live fully. And that's what he said: we all have a choice. So you don't have to burn your scrubs. You just need a new blueprint. So let's build it together. And I would also like to invite everyone for our next free live nurse webinar series. I also have another good speaker, nurse from Australia. They exactly the same as with Mr. Ricky, doing very well, and we would love to invite you. He's actually Mr. Ronald Gatz, and we will share more information and details for the date and time. Okay, and for now, I will close this session with a Q&A. And for example, if there's any questions or you have something in mind, please don't hesitate to contact us. We will also share our links. We will share that in our Facebook accounts, so then you can also contact Mr. Ricky because he's based from US. And from here, I would like to say thank you to everyone, especially for your time listening. And we do hope and pray for everyone's success. And there's always that hope and light for everyone. And as I have mentioned, please connect with us and be part of our growing community. That way you will feel empowered and you will feel inspired. So once again, thank you so much, Mr. Ricky. And